This is Buy Hold Sell, brought to you by Tab. We're on, and another week in SuperCoach. A few more big names to get off. This is the Phantom speaking. Welcome back to the Phantom's Lair, the special Buy Hold Sell Tuesday Gather Round edition. It's a big week. Big shows, Chief. Welcome back. Have you recovered? What happened on the weekend?
Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit better now after my shocking round because there's lots to talk about. And I'm thinking of buying some people this week. But
you need to buy a lot.
As always, we've got to sell because it is the year of SuperCoach Carnage, fan. And who are we selling this week?
We are jumping off. We're getting rid of Tim English and Ed Richards. Unfortunately, the Bulldogs pair injured. We don't have an exact time frame just yet, but surely it will be in the longer term. It is trade in SuperCoach. Extra trades to move around. Make the move now. Make the money fly and dump them, Chief.
Yep. I think I'm in the same boat. I would be selling both at this stage, even though I was a staunch holder of Tristan Sherry with the 3-week time frame. With an injury, when you're not coming back fresh, you never know with that, and it could be a bit longer, it could be whatever, you don't know, fan, and I'm one that would prefer to trade an injury when it is that sort of time frame. We'll wait and see for the particulars around that, but right now it's still looking at least both of them 2+ is what we're suggesting for both of them, and it could be way longer for either.
And there's never a right time to trade a star, but if there was, it is when Max Gawn and Brodie Grundy, the two premium set and forgets of yesteryear, are firing on all cylinders again. So Tim English to Max Gawn, could it be the move? I like it. $700K. The Bombers for the Ds twice before Melbourne's next buy, and Maxie's flying. Doesn't matter who he plays, but they've got a pretty good run for rucks.
Yeah, don't mind the big fella there. Huge run home for him, or huge run coming up, I should say, like you said, in the next 8 or so weeks. Any other rucks you're interested in buying if you are going the straight swap from a Tim English, who is 43% owned heading into the round? A tough pill to swallow for everyone that is owning Tim English.
Yeah, he has fallen. That is the bit of the worry with Tim English, now below 600K. But Luke Jackson, the Docker, is at 603K. He's come down from on the weekend as well, but you still have to find a little bit of cash to get there. But if you can't get to Brodie Grundy or Max Gawn, Luke Jackson could be the one now. He's proven that he can win enough ball. He can score as a midfielder who then pinch hits in the ruck rather than the other way around. That was the concern pre-season coming into it. But he's flying. You've only got 15 to 20K. If that's all you can get, Tim English to Luke Jackson is for you.
Yep, it is for you. Just don't expect Luke Jackson to become a forward or a midfielder in our upcoming dual position players, which is coming up after
only
gather rounds.
Big segment.
Before round 6, after gather round. But no, do not expect that for Luke Jackson. He'll be staying as a ruck based on that data. We will be talking about that data in OnlyFans upcoming in our questions segment.
Exclusive.
But for me, fan, if I'm selling these guys, I'm buying Nazire Wanganeen-Miller so quickly. Fan, do we forget how good this guy is? He's under 600K just because of the average next to his name. What he's averaging in the low 90s, he has not hit his straps yet. He's been hard tagged just about every game he's played, but the time is now for Naz. You can get him a premium defender keeper. He's available as a defender, playing basically as a pure inside mid now, and you can get him under 600K. You can basically straight swap either Tim English or Ed Richards if you want. And if not, maybe jump off one of those failed mid prices and grab him anyway, because it is Naz. He's a guy that we wanted in our team all of last season, was in a majority of our teams for all of last season as well, and I don't see why we shouldn't be jumping on right now.
Port Crows and the Eagles for the Saints in the next 3 off the bye. I do like it, Chief, 568K. Anyone else? So that is now you need to be flexible in your trades. You've got a few other options in different positions on the ground.
Yep.
How much are we moving around?
Well, I think we did speak about it on the main show that if you are going the ruck department, we did have a sneaky pod in there with a Jordan Sweet if you want to get a little tricky, but I think all of us were on the same page. You're going one of the big dogs. You're going Jackson. You're going Gawn. You're going Grundy. You're picking your poison there. But if you do have some ability to swing things around, as I just said, Naz is a great option. Another one I like, Cozzy Pickett. I'm on board. Wasn't necessarily a believer coming into the season, not due to the guy's talent. I thought he would get a hard tag pretty early, especially if he's playing in that midfield role. My thoughts haven't changed around that.
Yep.
But his ability at the moment to just play as a full-time midfielder for the entirety of the game. It's something that Stephen King has basically said on, I think it was Fireball last week, said it's hard to keep him out of there at the moment. Obviously, they'd love to play him a bit more as a forward as well, but you can't keep Cozzy out of the guts at the moment, such as his form. We can grab him at basically 500k flat in our forward line, and I think he's now established himself as a top-end forward keeper. We can grab him now and even make some money off some of these bullets that we've got this week. He's
flying. I've got a bit of a point difference option too as well. If you maybe, like you said, are trading Tim English, moving flex, moving Lockie McAndrew potentially to R2 and trading in a flex, or you're moving on Ed Richards, my man Will Ashcroft, 515k, 139 Supercoach points last weekend. He is hitting his straps. Was in the pan. I fired him up. Chris Fagan's fired him up. He was unbelievable against the Pies on the weekend on Thursday, just gone. Hopefully, it is a sign of things to come. But 515k for a guy who I still think can definitely finish in the top 6 from here. Make some money off those moves, especially the Tim English trade, if you're out to do that. But Will Ashcroft, 515, good buying, like Cozzy Pickett.
Yep, I like it. It is cheap as opposed to some of the guys we've been shopping this season, which we've got a bit, we've delved into the bank account nice and early this Supercoach season, and we are still looking. Again, we're not against bringing in a Max Gawn or a Brodie Grundy should you so choose to just lock away those rucks. But it is nice to sort of bank some cash and maybe improve other areas of the ground like we're saying. However, if you did want to splash the cash, Phantom, I do have just a couple more areas that you could go. Now, these are the midfielders that you could spend up on, I think. Baz Lenker, now, as we said.
Did you do it last week?
I called him a bust at the start of the year. That was on just based on the Geelong factor, okay? It was nothing against the Baz Lenker factor. It was against the Geelong factor. Is this you
admitting your failings?
There might be a laid out here and there. We know that about Geelong. However, so far, so good. And Baz is just looking immense to start the season. And what better time to bring him in than against my beloved, but the poor old West Coast Eagles at the moment. I think he could have a massive start. You could get a huge sugar hit bringing in Baz. And based on what I've seen this season, I don't think he's going to go below what he did last year, or at least he could go close to that 118 Supercoach average that he's doing at the moment and that he did last year. So I think he's a safe premium trade-in. You're just going to have to find some cash if you are trading out a couple of those bullets, because he's up at 640k, which is tough. If you do want to do a straight swap though, Isaac Heaney, some massive numbers that he produces at Gather Round every single year. Averages 131 at Adelaide Oval in Gather Round and 165 in his solo performance up at the Adelaide Hills in Mount Barker. But he is at Norwood this year. I think the smaller oval, he'll do all right though, and he'll kick himself a few snags, get some contested possessions. So just keep an eye out on Isaac Heaney as well. As a nice point of difference option in your midfield if you do have the cash to spend.
First ton of the year for him in round 4 though. Interesting. But I'll tell you who is not at the top end of the price bracket. Now, you might have got Bailey Smith wrong, but you were talking up Jack Steele all preseason, 547k. Big again on the weekend. Went along with Max Gawn. Big Supercoach score in that win. I'm not fully convinced, but are you buying Jack Steele?
I'd love to.
Oh, I sense some hesitation.
No, I think, we had a comment on YouTube from James, shout out on our last show. Show some love for Jack Steele. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, James. We need to show some love for Jack Steele. Yes, I had a lot of love for him in the preseason. Didn't back it in myself. I think if you've started him, you are happy. You're rolling with it. He's got Essendon coming up this week. Could go massive again. The time on ground, the low time on ground, the history of injury with Jack Steele, I'd be much more comfortable as a guy that we started with and you're holding on to. I think I'd be wary trading in, knowing that you might have missed some of those big scores, and he's going to have to continue going at a high points per minute clip to keep this up. And that always worries me when players not playing a stack of time on ground compared to some of his peers in the same category. And you just got to hope that he continues, which he might, given what we've seen so far.
Is he a top 8 midfielder? Quick answer.
No,
neither. I agree.
So I'm holding off, I think, on that one.
Well, Chief, you've seemingly got a lot of money, but we need to make some money in Supercoach as well. The aim of the game, the best rookie downgrade option of the week at the moment before we get teams and before we potentially get a surprise Milan Murdoch inclusion of the Eagles. Jacob Farrier, 163k, the Essendon draftee, negative 42 break even, a score of 90 Supercoach points. On the weekend, his second game followed up from his 49-point performance on debut against the Roos. Yes, the Dons shared it around in the back half, but has to be in that side now. You think Brad Scott just has got to back him in. We know his left foot is good. Good kicking is good, Supercoach, as we always say, was compared to Jordan Dawson in his draft year. So that is some good company. Jacob Farrier, 163k, is a buy and is a top rookie downgrade option if you're looking to make some cash.
Let's get into our holds for the week.
Plenty of rage out there in Supercoaches, in the Supercoach community. They're rage trading. They're jumping off.
They are.
Jordan Clark is in the sights of angry Supercoaches. Now, he's been a bit down, was flat on the weekend, but he scored okay before that. Jordan got down to 546. Remember, it doesn't matter about the price. You picked him as a keeper. 52 Supercoach point. That is hard to take against the Crows on Friday night. But 2 Supercoach tons before that. Surely you've got some bigger issues. If you don't, well done to you. But has to be a hold, 546k in the premium bracket. A bit longer than this.
I reckon.
Until we get some clarity as well on that top 6 in defence.
Yep. And especially when players are just seeming to score massive scores against Collingwood. Defenders are scoring big against Collingwood. You'd hate to come to the beautiful city of Adelaide and watch them on Friday night at Gather Round and see Jordan Clark drop 40 disposals and 130 Supercoach points when you've traded him out. Yep. I agree. He's a hold for me as well. I'm just saying hold Christian Petrarca as well at this point because...
Hold off or hold?
Both.
Okay.
I'm hold off and hold on. So if you've held him this far, you can't be trading now. He's potentially coming back very soon. Now, I think the latest on that is unlikely to feature this week, but not far away. As funny as it sounds, like 1 to 2 weeks, I'd probably still hold him now that you've held him this far. But I also am going to wait to see how he goes when he's back in the side before trading him in because he's not the bargain price that he started at now. But we need to see how he goes, not only coming back from that injury, but how he goes in the team with Matt Rao. He could come out and get 130. That's fine. He's only going to go up a little bit in price. I'll jump on after that. I want to see what it looks like. Is he playing more as a forward coming off injury? What does it look like with Matt Rao in the side now that they're all back? Let's have a look. Hold off and hold on trading if you've waited this long.
Speaking of waiting this long, you had a bit of a Lair mare last week.
Yeah.
Couldn't move on Tristan Cherry. A few super coaches out there didn't quite stoop to your levels and stuff it up. They decided to hold.
Yep.
Some are moving him on this week after holding last week. Is he a hold off now? Hold off trading if you held the first week?
Of course he is. You can't give away last week and then give up. You've now committed. That's where I'm sitting. Now, all power to you if you want to go to a max score. And I know the temptation is there up against Essendon that he could just continue this mammoth run that he's on. I think we hold off. That is where I sit, given how trades are becoming sparse already in this injury carnage season. I think we do hold off. We improve other areas of our team if we can. I'm not against anyone that wants to do it, that can't resist temptation of a Gawn or a Grundy. But for me, I think we've held 1 week. We can continue to hold. You're going to trade a guy like English ahead of him, obviously, as well. I think we'll be rewarded on the other end of this hold, and you'll be rewarded with having that extra trade up your sleeve to attack the back half of the season as well.
I'm holding Connor Buderick.
Okay.
A few jumping off the mid-price stepping stone in the forward line. Similar also with Caleb Windsor in defence. I'd hold both. I think, yes, it's tempting to go down. We speak about a good rookie buy in a second in defence. That's the temptation to go down from a Caleb Windsor. Is it worth it? Do you make enough money in the trade? I'm not sure. I would trade Windsor before Buderick, but Connor Buderick, plenty of the ball again against the Bombers. 21 touches, 6 marks, a couple of little clangers there late, heard his score, but I think he's doing enough. Took a few kick-ins as well, so I'm holding Connor Buderick. I think he's got a bit more money to make, and importantly, best 22 scoring is now back. So having him there instead of a rookie at that bottom end of your total players is going to be good for your total score and hopefully help if you're a bit behind in the rankings, make that climb, whereas a few, not mentioning any names, but Dossy, could be exposed when it comes to full scoring starting this gather round.
Another thing to mention is the dual position status that Butterick will be getting. So only a forward at the moment. You're only one round away. So if you hold him this week, he's going to be a forward defender, and that could open up a whole lot of options for you as well, shifting him around into defence if you want to open up a forward slot. I mean, probably the value is having him up forward, but yeah, I agree. He's a hold.
What about
Windsor? I'm a little bit more hesitant on.
DPP?
The Essendon factor of playing them this weekend probably holds that. That's probably the only thing holding him in my team if I was to have him there. But no, I think you can actually jump off Windsor. But yeah, he is going to get def mid status. So he'll be a defender midfielder, given he's played 90% in the midfield. So has the role, unfortunately just hasn't had that scoring prowess to be able to get us some cash or get us up to that premium player just yet. So I'm probably a sell. Who else are we selling this week? Now, you are officially a hold though on Caleb Windsor?
Just.
Yeah.
Just. Connor Butterick, yes, definitely a hold. Just Caleb Windsor.
Time to sell. Now, we are selling Tim English and Ed Richards, obviously. Well, not obviously. You could hold if you so dare decide to choose to take that path. Now, take it from a guy who did go the pathway of Sherry last week. It is a patient game. You got to really grit your teeth through it and go through some struggles. So take it from me. Maybe for short-term gain, it's definitely better and less painful to trade. But I think it is the right option to do. Who else are we selling, though, if you do have the luxury to sell?
A couple of Essendon bums. Again, I think they were featured last week. If you didn't do it, Darcy Parish and Lockie Blackerson. Now, again, you've got the Ed Richards, Tim English double. We do feel for you, and you have to address that first. If you don't, Darcy Parish, again, just still, like we said, the same thing we said last week, just not cutting it, just not going to be that money-making option or that potential premium keeper that some thought even lost $500 on the weekend, Chief. That's what I reckon 5 names going to put on the bar at Cumbie on Friday. Maybe. But Lockie Blackiston has to go $291K now, who you can buy, sell him, take the $130K, $140K. Jacob Farrow, his teammate, the rookie price option in defence. That is probably the move you have to make. 20,000 people, 20,000 Supercoach have done that. He's the number one rookie downgrade option this week, unless Milan Murdoch makes a surprise return. Todd Marshall, if he's named as well on Thursday night, comes back into that equation. But Jacob Farrow right now, on Tuesday, the best live rookie downgrade option, I think, because Lockie Blackiston.
Blackiston, no good. But unfortunately, something else that's no good, Finn O'Sullivan, 10%
Bad
owned.
news for the Roos.
Bad news. He's had jaw surgery or having jaw surgery today as we were recording on Tuesday. So keep an eye out for a timeline on that. But that, to me, you're probably going to still be missing a couple of weeks with jaw surgery. So I think we have to look to sell him here. And unfortunately, he's sort of that awkward price. He's not really a premium. He's not going to make you money to get to that premium status if he's not playing. So I think we have to either sell, go right up to the top, or grab that rookie that we're talking about, a Farrow, or maybe even go with some other option if we can find one.
Yep. All right, let's go, like you just said, now to the people. OnlyFans. Supercoach Mailbag segment. The questions are flooding in from our loyal Lair listeners at Instagram at the Phantom SC, and of course, on the Code Sports YouTube channel. Chief.
Yep.
What are the people talking about?
Well, the people was firstly me. I got one more question for you.
No.
I got a question.
Your question for me.
Dossy.
You've submitted to OnlyFans.
I have submitted one. Now, a guy did not feature just then in our buy, hold, sell. It's a tough one.
Okay.
Oscar Steen. Buy or hold? Because if you got him, you're holding, obviously. But are we buying or are we holding off bringing him in? Basement price, ruck forward. Where do we sit with Oscar Steen?
Now, we spoke about it on the on the Monday show that he looks sort of certain to play, which we think now even more so. He's going to come over to Adelaide for gather round and play on Friday night.
Yep.
Negative 52 break even. Score 41 obviously was half what he got on debut. I mean, I think it's what you get out of it. I don't think he's a must trade in for what he's going to do cash-wise, because can we guarantee his long-term security to make enough money, and is he scoring high enough to make enough money in a shorter-term period? I'm not sure. But if you're doing it and it allows you to make an upgrade, or it helps you get a Gawn and Grundy to fix up some issues, then I think we can bring him in. So I'm going to sit on the fence here. It just depends on what your team is. It's a hold off. If you're just looking for maybe a double downgrade, I need these rookies. You don't need him. It helps you make another trade. Do it.
Yeah, I think I'm the same. So we had one other question sort of that relates to this as well. Now we're about to talk about heaps of dual position players. Don't worry, I haven't forgot. Get into the DPPs in just a second. This one from our friend Patch, usually on the Thursday show. We're doing the Thursday show this week.
Jeez, we are. We're doing everything.
Bit of breaking news that we are doing that show. So we'll see you again on Thursday, everyone. But is it worth...
Is our old friend coming in, maybe?
We'll see. We won't promise anything until things are locked in, but hopefully a special guest.
And our old friend.
Well, hopefully our old friend too. See?
Okay.
TBD.
Oof.
Is it worth a double downgrade this week ahead of dual position players next week?
Now, Patch asked me this too. So he's obviously on edge about it.
He's
on edge about it.
Worried.
And I asked him, well, who are you doing? I don't like double downgrades.
Yep.
Not in the new world of SuperCoach with 40 plus trades and boosts. So I don't like it.
You don't like it?
No.
No. Because it would be Farrell and Steen, wouldn't it? Like, are those the two guys?
Yep.
Unless you don't have one of our other...
I think, Marshall and Murdoch, if they play, then it changes.
That's a good point.
Then it changes.
Yep.
They're must-haves. Then you do it. If it's just Steen and Farrow and you're not doing another move this week, if you're not improving your team, I wouldn't do it.
It's a great point. If it's Murdoch and Marshall we're talking about.
I'm full of great points.
Well, occasionally. That is a good point.
Oh, thanks, Jeff.
All right. Let's get on to some other questions. So DPPs is the big one. Everyone wants to know a bunch of players and whether they are going to get dual position status. Now, do you want to read out some of the requests here? And I'll get the little bits of data that I've got here in front of me and see if they are going to be a chance at DPP next round. Now, of course, if you didn't know, a player has to go 35%. I think it's over 35% time in position to be able to be eligible for that secondary position. And if you've already got two, if you're already a mid forward, you can't be a mid forward defender. SuperCoach dual position players only, which is the way to go.
Yep.
Fan, of course.
Let's start with the rookie options, which we know becomes handy with our flexibility in our sides.
Yep.
Jais Arong, Tom Myers, Devon Robertson, Connor Butterick, Milan Murdoch.
All right. Well, I would have preferred you to pad those out a bit for me.
Okay, start with Jais Arong.
Sarong, 88%.
What?
Midfield time.
Okay, so mid defender, lock him in.
Easily going to get that.
Lock him in.
Murdoch.
What about Milan Murdoch?
Now, the rules are you have to play a third game. So he's going to have to get up for gather round to get it this round.
We need to get Mini on the line.
Players. So if he does get up, we're in luck because he is 97% forward time. So our 99K go to cash cow will be a mid forward should he
so if he
play.
He doesn't play, he's got to wait another 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So, we're going to hopefully get him to play. But, I mean,
he could play on one leg in that side from what I saw on the weekend.
So, anyway, Todd Marshall, obviously, now we've talked about him heaps. So, he's also going to have to play a third game.
Okay.
So, he also has to get up for gather round for him.
5 names thinks he's going to play too.
He did say that. So, 87% time in defence. Now, that's, again, a lay down Mazaire. He's going to be a forward defender. Should he suit up to play that third game and be eligible for dual position status, he'll be a forward defender. That'll be super handy for us. Now, I mentioned Butterick before just to say that he's going to get defensive status as well, 99%, so he'll be a forward defender. Tom Myers, 68
mid only at the moment.
68% time in defence. So again,
DPP
should easily get DPP as well. He's 68% time in defence and 32% midfield. So that's a lock.
What about Luke Jackson? Up the other end of the scale. Any chance of the unicorn, getting the unicorn status in Supercoach.
No.
Mid-ruck.
No. 70% ruck. So I mentioned this kind of on the Monday show as well. Like he's playing as a predominant ruck. Sean Darcy's coming in for some chop out, and when he does, he's jumping in as a midfielder and as a forward, but only in, let's look at the time and position data, 13% as a mid and 17% as a forward. So not quite as as huge a split as people are maybe making out to be. He's still being that main ruck at Fremantle at the moment.
Tuke Miller. Can we lock him into our forward line plans?
Let's
6.
have a look. Now, if you do want to check out this data and research the exact same way I am doing in a spreadsheet or in a easy to sort data column on Code Sports is where you can do that. Now, I'll aim to link that in the description as well so you can check that out. You can search any player you want, even those deep draft players that you're after as well. Now, Tuke Miller, 52% time forward, 48% time mid. That's very promising, man. That's also you don't want to say lock, but that's already pretty much.
You said it. You said it.
I'm not a mathematician, so I can't really do. I can't go the full distance if he was 100% mid. Get some mathematicians out there to help us out on that one, fan. But yeah, pretty much a lock.
Yep. Now we've answered a few questions here already in the buy, hold, sell.
I need to know one more.
What?
Jason Horne-Francis. 47% time forward.
Is that a lock?
I'd just about say so.
Ooh.
Forward, mid, Horne-Francis. Lock it in. Woo. Excited for my new forward.
All right, moving in. Zachary's asked about trading English. Kate's asked about trading Butterick. We've answered that in the buy, hold, sell. We love all the questions coming in. I've got one for you, Chief, here. Yep. You mentioned Isaiah Wanganeen-Miller. Bailey has a question. Naz, Lockie Ash or Lockie Whitfield this week if you're trading in a primo defender?
Oh, that is tough. Who do the Giants have? I need to check these schedules because I'm a proud Lockie Whitfield owner, so I'd be happy going with either one of those guys. Ash looked like borderline must-have early, and then he had a bit of
Tigers. Yeah, I'm going out the Brosser. I'll be there. I still think Naz is your go. I'd go Naz. What's your answer?
Yep.
Naz?
I'm going to say Naz as well. And as a Whitfield owner for the first month of the season, there was only that one final game before the break against Collingwood, who I said are an easy defensive matchup this season, seemingly. He scored 128 on them and only cracked the ton on one other game. And it's been a hard watch. Lockie Ash has been the guy that's been the go-to. So honestly, out of those two as well, out of Whitfield and Ash, I'd probably lean Ash now.
Yep.
He's just pigging at it back there. Ash loves the pill.
Someone who's not picking it. The Trent here, his dilemma, Sam Walsh. 114, 96, 102, 91.
Yeah.
What do you do there? Is he in the frustrating but just can't trade in this climate bracket?
I think almost all players are in that bracket at the moment, aren't they? Especially against the mighty Crom, is it this week?
Yep.
Against your Crom. You're the one that said to me about like guys like Baz and stuff racking up the pill against the Crows. It's something that we've seen on regular occasion. There's no one to go with these guys. So do you think Walsh could, despite obviously the Crows you're hoping and thinking will probably get up in that game, Walsh could still have it on a string?
He's just kicking under pressure isn't great at the moment. It's hurting his scores. Even when he is getting a lot of the footy. Only had 19 disposals on the weekend against North on Good Friday. That's a concern. But you go back to the Supercoach tons.
Had Foss, I think.
Did have
from
Foss.
memory, had Foss running with him. So I mean, he's proven to be a solid tagger so far this year. Still did okay given that tag.
Yeah, so Supercoach. So the week before against Melbourne, 31 disposals, 102 Supercoach points, only 7 effective kicks.
I'd give him one more week, I think.
I think in this climate.
Yeah.
Yep.
Give him one more week. One for you, Finn.
Yep. What do you got?
Trading Kitty Coleman. There's a few questions around Kitty. So also asking if he'll get any forward DPP. No chance. He's playing 88% defense, which is also promising for his scoring. Where do you sit on Kitty Coleman as a trade in? And then there's one final sort of wrinkle on top of this as well. Would you trade in Kitty and leave around 150K in the bank from the Shawnee man, or just get Colby McKercher for the extra coin? So, Kitty Coleman, do you like him?
I like Kitty. You know I like Kitty. You tried to talk me out of it before Monday's show, before we saw the break even as well. Negative 26 break even, 311K. Now he's gone back-to-back SuperCoach tons. Looked great again. Looked everything that we spoke about and hoped for over the pre-season in that Brisbane backline. North this week, then the D's, Crows, Bombers and Blues. I like it. I've got Houston and McKercher, brought those two in over the past couple of weeks. If I didn't, I will be looking very, very hard at Kitty. So I like the move. And I think there's a few questions, might have been that one, but trading Joe Fonte to Kitty.
Yeah, that was another one.
Now that is a tough question because
Richmond as well,
Joe,
like you said.
361K from Kitty. You're making 50K. Still a 59-point break even for Joe Fonte. And his score last time out at Marvel Stadium, 80 SuperCoach points. That was looking close. He was going on track for a ton before some late errors. So if he can pull another SuperCoach ton out in gather round, that break even is going to drop and he is going to get past 400K. So I would keep Joe Fonte, but I do like Kitty.
Can I say Kitty is a really tough one for me as a non-owner as well, and as thinking about a guy who could make some cash and get some value play. Saints and Collingwood, I'm looking at matchups. He scored 100 and 113 against some two really seemingly easy matchups for defenders. They had no one with him. He's just wandering around back there doing whatever he pleases. Is it going to be that easy for Kitty every week? And if
no,
do you think, two questions, do you think he's a top six defender, sorry? And if not, how much money is enough money for us to invest at this point now that he's 311K?
I don't think he can be, he's not a top six, just misses out.
Just.
Still think, well, I think Peace is in that top 12. Yeah. He's in the sort of,
he was looking vintage Kitty on the weekend.
Yeah, it had 22 touches, 113 SuperCoach points, 5 tackles. No, he goes in hard too, 10 marks.
That tackle on steel side on him.
311K, I think is still cheap enough to get on. You might get 150K out of it, which we know is sort of the basement we want from our rookies or money-making options. So can he get to 450K at the very least? I think he can.
Yeah, okay. I'll consider him then. I think I've got
one more from Instagram to finish off here from Daniel. Question for 5 names who's not on the show, but we will read it out. What shampoo do you use? Not a fan of 5 names as
Luscious
locks. Shaggy look.
Yeah.
Now, he is Mr. Gatherround.
He is.
He's everywhere this weekend, but not on buy, hold, sell. Anything else, Chief, from OnlyFans?
I mean, do we want to read another poem?
Read the poem. Finish it off because I know it's got a good...
All right. I haven't actually read it properly so...
You have to sing it. It's Gather Round. Come on.
It's just
our man John Sullivan.
Yep.
All right, you got some music, do you? Backing track?
Get some sort of backing track going on here.
While you're doing that, we do have a box of merchandise sitting right next to us.
Oh, yes.
Ready to bring down to the Cumberland Arms on Weymouth Street, 1:30 to 4 p.m. on Friday. If you are in Adelaide, come down and get some SuperCoach goodies and have a responsible refreshment with us.
Come on down. Now, this is from Johnny Sullivan again on YouTube.
Yep.
Players are picked for a reason from the start. Be patient, they come good. Your choices from the head, not the heart. The Phantom says the SuperCoach world will be corrected and aligned. The wheels are falling off for beach balls. Not a good sign. Dossy stocks have taken a huge tumble. The man of the people. Lose the smugness. It's time to be humble.
Amen.
Each week we play, we're faced with rookie roulette. Dossy's trades of Hannaford and Schonberg, ones he liked to forget.
Yes, John.
Looking forward to the sightings of the hipster and eradicator in Gather Round. The Cumberland Arms is where you'll be found.
Yes, John, that is where we will be found.
Fantastic
on Friday afternoon.
Hipster and Erad going to be there? Or?
Maybe. Skip's a very busy man, he said this week,
Yeah,
but
okay.
we'll have to reach out to the great Eradicator.
Yep.
Come down 1:30 p.m. from 1:30 p.m. at the Cumbie, out the back in the beer garden. We'll be there talking all things SuperCoach ahead of the big Collingwood Freo game, Chief. Looking forward to it.
Can't wait. We'll also be seeing you on Thursday on this feed because we are going to take over the late mail show.
What are we going to talk about then?
As you said, we might have a couple of guests on. We'll see.
5 names back?
5 names hopefully should be joining us.
Okay.
We'll have to see how we go there as well. But yeah, we'll see you on Thursday this week for the late mail and captain show. I'm going to need some captain research from you. Get busy.
Well, I'm fresh off a 184 VC, so I'm ready to deliver the gold. See you then.
See you then.